It's episode 258, airing at 5 minutes past 10 on Monday morning, the 16th of August, 2021. Good morning to you. I'm Barry Fair with my outsider Amanda here, and welcome to another week and another edition of the Daily Wraps. And I hope that you've all had a fantastic weekend, whatever you have done. Well, today on the show, we'd like to open with the rule breakers. Now, if an order has been given to stay home, guys, please do that because it is really important because the Premier and all the other ministers cannot stress that enough. And joining me now in the studio to discuss all this, good morning to Amanda. Welcome to you.
Good morning, Barry. Good morning, all the viewers. Thanks for having me here. And yet, not so good news about people partying around. We're going to discuss that through the show today.
So, if you've been given an order to stay home, guys, please do it because the government is bending over backwards, and so are the premiers. This is not a hard thing to do, guys. Please do it. It's as simple. Here's Amanda now to open episode 258 with this.
So we're still in lockdown, and because many people are not respecting their stay-at-home orders, new enforcements have been put into place. So from this week, there are fines, there are more police officers around, just to try to enforce that and keep everyone safe. We do have to stay at home.
So the fines now are ranging from $1,000 to $5,000. So if you've got $5,000 in your pocket to pay for the fines, you'll be lucky to live on baked beans and spaghetti and 2-minute noodles and scrambled eggs for this whole time. You'll be paying the price if you break one single rule. Here's Amanda now for this.
That's right. It is important to stress that if you need to go out, you have to stay in your 5 kilometer area. If you do go any farther than that, you need a permit. Once again, you cannot lie about this permit. It's a serious offense. If you happen to be stopped by a cop and he or she asks for the permit, you really cannot lie about it. This is serious. So it's save some money, stay at home, do not risk it. It's time to stay at home.
Because do you want to live on baked beans and spaghetti and not have money to pay for your food, your bills, your petrol, electricity, gas, hot water, and heating? If the rule breakers drive anywhere without a good valid reason, that's it. They won't be able to pay for the food to feed their family, the bill for the house, the rent, things like that. Here's Amanda now.
Yeah, Barry is right. Let's be wise at this time. And I also want to talk to all of you who have children. We know it can be a bit more challenging to keep the little ones at home and entertained. But if you happen to take your children out, it's for exercise only. Don't take them to the playground. Don't just let them playing around on the streets. Just direct an activity for them. Take them to ride their bikes or to go on a run with you and your family. But this is not recreation. This must be exercise. And if they need to wear out their energy, Take them for a swim, for a run, for a bike ride, but don't just fool around. That's not fair on your children, on your family, on any of us.
So another thing we'd like to say today is the cases. Now, 466 cases on Saturday and 416 cases today. We will give you an update at 11 o'clock on what the cases are. So that doesn't mean that you may think that the cases are going down, but we will give you an update later on episode 258 today, and stay tuned to your local television station and check the guides for the local times of when the news conferences will be, and listen, even write down some points. Here's Amanda now.
Yeah, that's right. And watching the daily updates from the Premier is really the most updated information. Take 5 to 10 minutes from your day to listen carefully, to be tuned with the new restrictions and the new rules, to again help for the numbers to go down and really work hard for them to go down.
So, if you haven't got the jab yet, please go and get them, because I know 1,000 jabs arrived overnight, according to Prime Minister Scott Morrison. So they should be going to the affected hotspots. Here's Amanda now.
Yes, the vaccine is definitely important. There are many different places where you can seek to get vaccinated. At the moment, lots of GP practices are offering the vaccine. Same with pharmacies. Many pharmacies are now allowed to give the jab. So please go talk to your GP. Make sure your health condition is good for that and be vaccinated. Back to you, Barry.
So another thing we'd like to talk about now on the show, just moving off vaccines and COVID for a bit, is eating and drinking the right liquid. Now, okay, we all must eat and drink properly during this difficult time. Now, did you know that green tea is actually good for digestion? Well, for those that didn't know that, well, it is. Here's Amanda to tell you about it.
It is very good to detox and to help your stomach digest any food, to balance the acids. So get your cuppa, have some tea, keep the liquids going. Even though it's not too hot, you might not feel as thirsty as we do in summer, but it is important to keep our bodies going and functioning well. So green tea is definitely a good option.
And, but don't eat junk food either, because I said this last week on the show. Don't have greasy, fatty hamburgers, okay, or fish and chips. A treat, okay, is good in moderation, but guys, you have to remember, you are what you eat. Here's Amanda now for this.
Yes, you are what you eat, so try to stay healthy. Keep with your veggies and fruit intake every day. As Barry said, greasy food and fast food is just sometimes food, it's more of a treat. You don't want to do that on a daily basis. It's going to deteriorate your health.
Because your digestive system will not be able to cope with it. okay? Because if you eat like crazy fish and chips every day, and scallops and cocktails and that, you will regret that. Here's Amanda now.
That's true. So try to keep a healthy diet. It's a good time to do it now if you're at home through lockdown. Barry has some amazing recipes through his videos, so scroll back, find some interesting recipes, mostly healthy. So try something new at home, cook something different, and try to cook from scratch as much as you can, doing more of chopping and peeling and less of opening packages. um, Enjoy the time you're home and look after yourself a bit more.
Okay, and another thing, make up some delicious healthy meals and freeze them. Here's Amanda now.
That's right, Barry. Just because you mentioned that on the weekend, I made a very rich soup, lentil, lots of vegetables, some meat, and there was a lot of soup. I live by myself, so I had to freeze it. But it's actually a good thing. Now I have healthy food to have during the week, and I need to worry about cooking.
So if you've got any takeaway containers, guys, or snap lock containers like we do at Thin Tights, and you've made up a big batch of whatever, like spaghetti bolognese, freeze up the meat sauce, okay, but use it within a week or so. You can make lasagna with it, spaghetti bolognese, um, make a casserole if you like. There are so many things you can make with mince. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, and you touched a very important point, Barry, about dating the food. So every time you freeze it, make sure you write when the food was made, because you don't want to leave it there for too long. Ideally, you have it within a week, maybe 2 weeks if there's no meat. But make sure you have a nice control of that. Date all your containers.
Okay, because food poisoning, okay, that's the last thing you don't want to have, ladies and gentlemen, okay, because seriously, you need to know how good the stuff is, and you can tell by the smell as well. So if the dish is off, if the contents, sorry, are off, please throw them away because you don't want to end up with food poisoning and end up in hospital. Because right now, with the current situation with COVID right now, the last place you want to be is, you don't want to be, sorry, is the emergency department. Okay, they are busy with people that may already have contracted or caught COVID-19. Okay, so please, if you don't have to go to the hospital, please don't go. Okay, because it's really important to look after your health as well and eat the right food. Don't fill up on junk. We know how much you like it. Okay, so think about your breakfast, lunch, and dinner options too, and think about your drink options. Like, don't have too much Coke or Fanta or lemonade or alcohol. Either juice, cordial, or water. Here's Amanda now.
That's right. It's a good time to keep up with our health. As Barry said, fast food and greasy food can really taste delicious, but we gotta think of our health. It is a good time to change your fuel habits. So plan your meals, start the day with a nice healthy breakfast. Think what would be the best option for lunch and dinner. Even snacks in the middle of the day, you can swap biscuits for some fruit. Cut up some fruit, have them handy. It's definitely a better option, and you're gonna improve your mood as well. The better we eat, the better we feel.
And cut up some celery sticks with some hummus too. Here's my upside.
Yeah, there's all good tips of snacks that you can have that are actually gonna help your body functioning better.
Because it's no good eating fish and chips every day. Not ideal. And the same with the pizza. Here's my upside.
Yeah, that's right. I think we can wrap up about the healthy eating. If you need any more tips, if you're running out of ideas, again, go back through our videos. Barry has some amazing recipes. Get inspired and let's eat well.
Well, well, and well, here's a good way of using up leftover vegetables, okay? Put the cooked leftover veggies in an oven-proof dish, okay? Drizzle them with oil, okay? Put some lasagna sheets over the top, okay? Make a white sauce. Sprinkle the lasagna sheets with cheese, okay? And add your pasta sauce at the bottom, okay? And then bake in the oven, and then you've got yourself a nice, healthy vegetable lasagna. Here's Amanda now for this.
Thank you for the tips, Barry. I actually do have some vegetables at home that need to be used. I'll make sure I have some lasagna sheets and I'll let you know how it goes.
So another good way of using up the leftover veggies is bubble and squeak. Now, have you had that? Let us know down below. Well, it's time for a break on the show now. It's coming up to 23 minutes past 10 o'clock on Monday morning, and we've got the conference coming up at 11 o'clock, and then we'll come back to you, okay, after the conference, and we will talk more about improving our health during the lockdown and things you can do whilst you're in lockdown. You're watching episode 258. Barry, Vera, and Amanda with you. It is Monday, the 16th of August, 2021. Thanks for joining us on episode 258. We'll have more of episode 258 after the conference. So stay with us. Well, it's 11:30 now, and here we are into our second part of the show now on episode 258. Good morning. Barry and Amanda here with you in the studio for the COVID results and 478 cases in the community today. So, a lot of deaths happened too, but we won't go into those now. A lot of infringement notices were handed out to 8 p.m. last night, and the police operation Blitz started at midnight this morning. And to recap all of that, I'm joined in the studio by Amanda. Good morning to you once again.
Good morning once again. Welcome back, everyone. So, as Barry was telling us, there is a law enforcement operation. So, the police are out and about since midnight this morning. They are targeting those extending the 5Ks that they can go around. They are seeking people that are out of the home they should not be. So please be respectful to the police. Please do the right thing. Don't risk getting an infringement. Talking at as high as $5,000. That's a lot of money and that's very risky to all of us. So we're going to see more police around from today. And that's a very good thing. It's going to help us to stay safe and make sure everyone is at home.
Okay, so here's Amanda now to recap what happened at the press conference.
So I have some.
And thanks to Channel 9 for that update.
Absolutely. So I have some more notes over here. Just back to the police force operation. So since last night, there were close to 500 infringements. This number is ridiculously high. We need to get this down. As Dr. Chant said this morning, every time we go out of the house, we have to assume that we are infectious or we're going to come across people that are infectious. So even if you had your vaccination dose 1, dose 2, still take all the precautions, still keep physical distancing. Don't ignore the QR codes. It's really important that we all do our part here because that's how we're going to get out of this. It was also said that 70% of the cases are in people under 40 years old. So age is not an excuse. Everyone has to be aware of the situation we are now and try to keep us all safe. There's more about vaccinations. Take your vaccine, take this opportunity. It's important for us to stay safe. Remembering that after your first dose, there's still a couple of weeks or so to the vaccine be effective. So just don't take the jab and think you're free of all of this. We're not. We need to give the vaccine the right time to work in our systems. 2 doses is always better than 1. So if you had your first dose, well done. We're all proud of you. Time to seek the second dose. This is very important. And we're also taught in the conference there are pop-up clinics for vaccines. So look up online, find the one that is closest to you, book your vaccine because it's the only way out of this lockdown. It's the only way to keep us safer. Back to you, Mr. Fear.
Thank you, Amanda. Having iterated on what Amanda has said, 500 infringement notices were handed out last night. Okay, so if you are caught doing the wrong thing, it's not $1,000, it's $5,000. Okay, so if you've got $5,000 in your pocket to pay that fine, okay, good luck to you because you'll be lucky to live on toasted sandwiches and baked beans and 2-minute noodles. You will not be able to afford your groceries or to service your car or anything like that, furniture for your home, okay, because you'll be paying the price for doing the wrong thing, ladies and gentlemen. And please don't be an idiot and think that you will get caught and don't be an absolute nincompoop. Sorry I have to say it, but it's the only way that I can get this message out to you rule breakers and idiots out there. So don't get yourself caught and handed out a $5,000 infringement notice. And also, like Amanda said, about the pop-up clinics that are about to open up today. So if you haven't had the vaccine, guys, please do go out and get it, because it is very important that you do that and abide by the rules. Okay, there will be more police out there. Okay, starting from today. So if you are caught driving anywhere outside the 5K limit, that is it. Police will pull you over no matter where you are, guys. You will be asked to go home. Simple as that. Here's Amanda now for this.
That's right. So make sure you stay within your 5 kilometers area. If you are an essential worker that do need to go out of this perimeter, make sure you have proof of where you're going. Ask your employer to write you a letter or something that will get you covered. If possible, ask your employer if you can work from home, if you can be moved to a site that is closer to your home, because moving around is not going to help anyone. All want to keep safe.
Okay, and only work where you are supposed to. Don't go zim, like drive around all over the place and go to various places, because the suburbs where you may be working, they may have cases out there. So please be careful of your movements and be mindful of the movements and be thoughtful, because, okay, we know it's been absolutely hard and frustrating, and you want to go, I want to get out of here, but unfortunately, due to that, this COVID 474 cases today, or 478 cases, correction there, please. The quicker you get vaccinated and people abide by the rules, we can all get out of this and enjoy a free life, not as free as we would like to, but the most important thing we'd like to say also on the show today is don't get angry with people because their cases have gone up, because it is what it is at the end of the day, guys. If Amanda and I were not sitting here now, we wouldn't be bringing all this important stuff to you on the show now. Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's right. As the Premier was saying this morning, lockdown wouldn't finish until these numbers lower, and we can all do our bit to lower the numbers. First measure would be to get your vaccine. Second measure would be to stay at home and don't leave unless it is absolutely necessary. Um, we know we've been through this before. We know it can be challenging to stay at home. Different challenges can come up, but we got to keep in mind that this is our health and nothing is more important. So please get vaccinated and please obey the orders, stay at home.
Because it's not a hard thing to do, guys. Okay, we know it's absolutely frustrating that you want to get out there and enjoy the simple things in life. But if you want to go outside on your balcony, guys. Have your lunch out there. Okay, please don't flout the rules now because this situation is hard as it is because with after those 500 excuse me, after the 500 infringement notices were handed out last night after people had a party when they shouldn't, which brings us on to the closing segment about parties. Don't be an absolute nincompoop and have a party because you are the ones that will cop and a lot of money, and that's a big fine. So put off any plans, get the party plan out of your head, because it ain't gonna happen, because you know what will happen. You will get a, a knock on the door by the police, and Amanda and I cannot stress that enough this morning on the show, because just to date, 478 cases today, and not two here on the northern beaches from the 4th of August, and the other, I think, was a couple of weeks ago. And in Melbourne, I don't think that lockdown is going to end there either. So its lockdown may be extended too. And Queensland will tighten the border from Friday up north. Okay, so we know it's been frustrating, guys, but we have to do this. And we know that it's inconvenient, but hopefully by the next school holidays, which is in September, well, let's hope so that people can go on their holidays. Now, here is the closing segment. Our, our closing segment is eating nice, healthy food and drinking the right liquid. Okay, having a good, positive mental attitude, watching your moods. Okay, don't take your anger out on someone else because the cases have gone up. Well, the case numbers have gone up because it is what it is here. Okay, I may be sounding like Molly Meldrum from Countdown here, but okay, guys, we are all in this together. Please, let's work as a team, support one another, and one last thing before we do go today, the number that we rely on 24 hours a day, that is 000. I bring this up at the end of the show because we feel that this is a very important topic. 000 is an emergency line, not a chit chat line, guys. So if you haven't got an emergency, guys, please do leave 000 alone. don't muck around with that number, because the wrong call you make to that vital 24-hour emergency number could cost someone like me or Amanda their life, or even your son or daughter, or somebody else in your family. Okay, even your grandma or your grandpa. So leave 000 alone. Here's Amanda for her closing message about leaving 000 alone.
That's right. Before the closing message, I'd like to thank you, Barry, for having me on the show once again. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, 000 is for emergencies. It's not a phone number to call for a prank or for chit chat, like Barry said. It is absolutely serious. They do a serious job and they need to go for those people in need. So if you are in need, if it is an emergency, don't hesitate. But if it is not an emergency, don't ring 000.
Please leave it alone.
Yeah.
It is not a number to think there is something really happening when there isn't. So, Triple O, please, guys, leave it alone. And with the approaching school holidays coming up in September, teach your kids about that number, okay? Because it is vital, and some kid may ring up and say that their friends are getting married, or laugh about it, or just call paramedics in for good and cheap fun. So please leave 000 alone. Don't muck around with it, because if you muck around with that number, you will get a knock on the door, not from the ambulance service. It will be the police. And on that note, it is time for Amanda and I to say farewell to you now. We've had a lot of fun this morning bringing episode 258 to you today. And what a productive show we've had. And I hope you do enjoy it. Please do take away and take on board some of the information we shared with you on the show today. Thanks so much for your company today on episode 258. Matt and I will be back at 9:30 tomorrow morning with episode 259. Amanda, as always, thanks for your company, and I will see you next Monday morning for another jam-packed episode. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, from Amanda and myself now, have a great afternoon. Eat something healthy for lunch and dinner, and have a good positive mental attitude, and don't worry about what's going to happen the next day. So see you tomorrow for episode 259. But from Amanda and myself now, it's a very happy Monday to you. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for your company, and I will catch you next time round on the Daily Raps.